Torre de Belém is one of Lisbon's most outstanding monuments. It is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Beautiful and photogenic, it was built at the mouth of the Tejo River. The goal is to protect the fortress at the entrance to Lisbon, but it has other uses as well, which we'll discuss below. Its construction took place between 1514 and 1519 during the reign of King D. Manuel I. Torre de Belém is also the starting point for many Portuguese expeditions. The stone facade has Islamic and Oriental influence details in a classic Manueline style. The stone is decorated with nationalist motifs inspired by elements of nature, discovery and religion. The Tower of Belém was dedicated to Saint Vincent, the patron saint of Lisbon, and the Jerónimos Monastery was just a few meters away during its construction. Since then, they have been related to each other through their location and architectural style. Francisco de Arruda, the architect of the work, had worked on other fortresses in Morocco, so Moorish influences can also be noted in the work. Over time, the fortification went from having a defensive function to serving as a customs registry, and as dungeons during the reign of Philip I of Spain. Take advantage of the fact that you visit the Tower of Belém and the Jerónimos Monastery, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, as we have already told you. Construction dates back to the mid-16th century, but continued for another 100 years. The cloister is one of the most impressive areas of the building, but the interior of the church will also leave you speechless. So don't forget to visit it when considering what to see in Lisbon. Lisbon is a city full of beautiful corners that you can see as you walk around the city. One of the most representative areas is the Alfama district, where Christian, Jewish and Muslim cultures coexisted. Wandering the narrow streets of the Alfama district and entering one of the venues hosting performances of fado, a typical Portuguese music genre, is an experience not to be missed. The Santa Justa elevator, also called Elevador do Carmo, is an elevator that links the Baixa Pombalina and Chiado neighborhoods in Lisbon, Portugal. It stands on Santa Justa Street and links this central promenade with Praça do Carmo, next to the Carmo Archaeological Museum. This elevator was designed by Raul Mesnier de Ponsar, who was also responsible, in this same city, for the construction of the Elevador do Lavra. The relationship of this engineer with the famous Gustave Eiffel is not proven. It is only known that the engineer Raoul Mesnier and the French architect Louis Reynaud applied some of the techniques and materials already used in France to these elevators. It is known as the Castle of São Jorge in Portuguese, Castelo de São Jorge, to the ruins of a castle on the hill of São Jorge in Lisbon. Human occupation of the castle hill dates back to at least the 8th century BC, while the first built fortifications date back to the 1st century BC. The castle stands in a dominant position on the highest hill in the historic center, providing visitors with one of the most beautiful views over the city and the Tagus River estuary, which is why the Portuguese government makes great efforts to preserve it. The castle grounds cover approximately 6,000 square meters. The building consists of several towers and sentry boxes, a moat and 2 large patios. The monument to the discoveries, popularly known as Padrão dos Descobrimentos, is a monument built in 1960, on the banks of the Tagus River, in Belém, Lisbon, to commemorate the 500th anniversary of the death of Henry the Navigator. It was commissioned by the regime of Antonio de Oliveira Salazar, stands 52 meters tall and celebrates sailors, royal patrons and all who participated in the development of the Age of Discovery. The authors of the work were the architect José Angelo Cottinelli Telmo, and the sculptor Leopoldo de Almeida, who was in charge of the sculptures. The Lisbon Cathedral, known as the Sé and the most important, eldest religious building in the city. This 12th century temple, which has survived several earthquakes, impresses with a sober Romanesque style exterior with 2 belfry-like towers, while the interior is a mixture of different architectural styles, in which a Gothic chapel with several tombs stands out. From the 14th century, a beautiful cloister in the treasure room, which keeps valuable objects such as jewels, manuscripts and relics. There is a popular pastry shop Pastéis de Belém near the Jerónimos Monastery, and our favorite is to try these famous Portuguese desserts. Decorated with tiles, this historic patisserie has been making original Belém cakes since 1837, using a recipe passed down from generation to generation and kept secret. While you'll find them very similar in other pastry shops, it's worth trying them out freshly baked in the spacious living room and dusted with a little cinnamon or powdered sugar. In our selection of Lisbon attractions, another most important neighborhood not to be missed is La Baixa. This is an area with wide streets where you can take a pleasant walk to relax. Of course, you also have the opportunity to visit many important monuments, such as the Marquis de Pombal Square, the Lost Revival Square or the Commerce Square. In the latter, you can relax with a coffee on one of the terraces of bars in the area. Tram 28 is the most popular. On board you pass through the Bairro Alto, Alfama, Chiado, Graça, and even the Jardim da Estrela area in Estrela and Campo de Aurique. It retains its original appearance, built-in wood inside, its simple seats and its heavy windows from where you can admire the most important things to see in Lisbon.